Hey, welcome to Corbellic Studios. I'm Corbellic. Welcome back to the live stream painting show. We're going to be doing another live stream where we're doing some painting right now. We're going to be talking about today the digital storefront. All right, like the brick and mortar days, they're over with, right? Like if you go to your local mall or how it used to be in the 80s, the late 80s to the 90s to even some of the early 2000s, it's pretty sad. Those days is over with. Nowadays, it's the digital storefront. You already have a storefront. You already have a digital storefront. We're blessed to where we have the business already that's online to where we could be able to sell and we could put ourselves in front of the customers. It's just that we're using it wrong, okay? And I'm just going to be breaking that down today about simple systems. A lot of times people think that things need to be complicated, things that need to be difficult and hard, and they don't. So I'm just going to be breaking those things down today where I like to put myself in a mindset where things should be easy to us. All right, things should come easy. I always put myself in a mindset if I feel like I'm stressed out or if I feel like business is not flowing or I feel like the numbers is off, I always kind of reflect to myself and I go, all right, I'm the problem and I need to work smarter and I need to think about ways of how to make this more easier because it's not always supposed to be challenging. A lot of times we lose money, we lose opportunities, and we lose different things because we always try to think that there has to be a struggle or it has to be overcomplicated. So we're also going to be talking about that too as well on the whiteboard video today. Today's whiteboard video is going to be the struggling artist or the struggling stories that you need to feel like everything needs to be more complicated and it doesn't. All right, so we're going to have that today. It's morning time. So remember, we always talk about in this show that health is wealth, right? Health is wealth. We always need to take care of ourselves. Today, it's a cold pressed watermelon. Again, I like to get my electrolytes early in the morning. I like to get all of my vitamins as well. So I take care of myself. This is the real secret how you're going to be able to maximize your success, how you can think in a mindset of a higher frequency. I'm telling you. I don't know any kind of multimillionaire who's running large businesses, or even if you do research, nobody is doing it just natural. Nobody is just doing it water. They're taking care of themselves. There's certain type of vitamins that they're taking. There's certain type of supplements that they're taking. And most of the time it's natural where they're just taking care of their bodies. But especially us as artists, it's important where you got to take care of your body. I'm going to say that on every video because this is the secret of how I was able to be successful, how I was able to sell so many paintings and how I was able to have my energy. I have so much energy throughout the day because I focus on what I put into my body. Look, I'm not going to say I'm a monk, right? There's been times where I didn't focus on what I put into my body. And I noticed in my day, either my mood swing changes or I crash out. I'm tired in the middle of the day. I want to take a nap or I'm feeling sluggish or even worse, I don't believe in myself. So a lot of times we have this happen all the time because we're human. I understand. We have these times where we don't believe in ourselves and we have this mindset to think that, oh, business isn't going good, numbers aren't going good. Why am I doing this? I don't believe in myself. I'm gonna tell you, that's not you doing it. It's just your brain playing tricks on you. Your brain is either thirsty, it's dehydrated, or you just ate too much processed food, which could be junk food during the middle of the day or something like that. But it's usually about the things that you put into your body. So I was able to learn these things over the years because when I started off, I was treating my body like crap. All right, like I love to eat. I love to cook. I love to go out. I love all of that stuff. But I also notice about the frequency and how I regulate it throughout my day. It does make a difference. All right. But hey, I don't want to be like I'm a preacher here. All right. I'm not going to lecture you. You can do what you want. I'm just saying. I know we have a lot of coffee drinkers. For example, I don't drink coffee not because it's like I don't like the taste or whatever. It's just that I don't like how it makes me self-doubt myself in the middle of the day. And it gives me a little bit of slight of anxiety and the caffeine off of it. It gives me a little bit of the jitters. So I just wanted to say that. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's good out there. Hope everybody's ready to rock and roll. Today, we have some cool paintings as well. I mean, we always got some cool paintings, but if you're new here, or even if you're not new here, I use a tool which is the AI reverse engineering. So I do a reverse engineering on any kind of things that I like to see. I put it in, I click one button, and then it pops out a new image in that same style but a better version of that style. So that way people don't say, oh, you're stealing from this artist. Oh, you're stealing from that. We're not stealing at all. These are still our original ideas, our original things. It's just that we're reorganizing it or re-engineering it into the system. If you want to play around with this AI tool as well, so that way you don't have to think about, oh, what should I paint? What should I do? I have two cool tools where it's like you can engineer like a reference that you like, anything that, even if you take a picture of something on the street, it'll populate it into an artistic style for you. Or what you can do as well is that we have a reference creator where it randomly will create a different reference for you that's based off of Kissimmee, that's based off of the top trending themes inside of Google, but also inside of eBay's SEO, which is their search engine optimization. And that way you'll have different trends on there because we're biased. I don't care who you are. We're human at the end of the day. There's going to be times where you're going to say to yourself, I want to paint something different. It's hard for you to do it because you're biased and you're only going to want to choose the things that you like. And then when I go to your page or when I go to your art page, you might think that you're being different, but then I look at your art and all of it looks the same. So if all of it looks the same, you're only giving yourself such a variety to meet new collectors and new buyers, and you're not changing your algorithm up too much. I go to a lot of artists' page and I see where the art looks the same. And it's not your fault because you're human. I understand it. It's hard for us to get outside of ourselves. So this tool helps you to get outside of yourself. You click a button and it randomizes it, or it surprises you, or it chooses a random one for you. And then it just does something different. And then you'd be surprised. Then you'd be like, man, I'm getting more bidders. I'm getting more people coming onto my store. Yeah, because it looks different and it's something different. People who like the comic books don't like the horse. People who like the horse don't like the landscape. People who are into the landscapes, they don't like the seascapes. People who like the seascape, they're into the automobile. You get what I'm saying, right? So it's like you have to change it up. That's where I made my money at. When my money was really getting funny and I was going broke, the thing that really pushed me up against the wall, and I didn't even have this AI tool back then. I didn't even have AI then. I said to myself, I got to do more research and I got to paint different things that I don't like particularly, or that would be outside of Corbellic. I got to paint it. All of a sudden I'm painting like old red Oldsmobile, Cadillac. I'm painting the background of Cuba. I'm painting Cubism. I'm painting anything. That way I can see what sticks to the wall because I'm throwing it out there for new collectors. So this is a tool that's going to help you so you don't have to rack your brain about it too and spend too much time. You just press a button. Boom. So if you want that tool, click the link. It's in the chat, or it's pinned below, and you can see how you can do this for yourself. Very simple. All right, so let's see who we have here today this morning. Who do we have this morning? All right, we got Oliver here. Awesome work, Oliver. Love your store. We got Anna here. All right. We got Lillian. All right. Jane and Oliver. Let's do this. Let's do this, everybody. I'm excited. Let's do this. I'm excited. Let's get straight into the money, right? Let's get straight into the money. All right, so let's get straight into this. All right, so our first painting is going to be a bull. It's going to be a Neo-expressionism bull. This is going to be a lot of fun. And the purpose of me showing you this is just to show you how quick that we get paintings done with, all right? How we need to go straight into it. I pulled this off of our app, like I told you, so that way we're not recreating the wheel. This system pulled it out for us, so that way we could just have fun with it, all right? Good morning, boils. All right, let's do this. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. I'm really excited because I love spending so much time with the app of what I use, the reverse engineer app. So much fun. If you haven't played around with it yet, then you're missing out. You're definitely missing out. And I don't want you to miss out because it makes everything so easy for you. It makes everything so simple. It makes everything so simple. And that's going to be our first topic today. It's going to be talking about making things simple for yourself. Simple systems. Simple systems beat talent. I never claimed that I'm Michelangelo, I'm Leonardo da Vinci, I'm the best artist in the world. But I had the mindset that I'm the best because I was able to have systems in place to able to sell art. All right. So if anybody asks you what is a professional is somebody who's able to render service and get paid for it. All right. So I'm a professional at being a professional. And so are you. So look, let's get straight into it. Look at this. You see how I'm using the big brush? I'm just using the 1 inch. And today I'm not doing a background off of like where I usually do the background and I go into it. Today I'm going straight raw, where I'm going straight into the canvas with the big brush. And you see I'm doing just going straight into the color as much as I can. And then we'll do we'll do parts of the background later. Because today we're doing a bunch of we're focused on Neo-expressionisms today. I think Neo-expressionism is my favorite type of art because it opens me up to where I can do anything that I want, but it's just the impression of what we're doing and people have an idea of it. People pay more money for the Neo-expressionism anyways. So that's why I always make fun of the polar bear hairs, because I understand I've been doing this for so long that polar bear hairs, people will look at it and be like, oh, that's nice, that's cute. Oh, that's cool that you did it. But I understand from raw emotion, what people want in their homes and what they buy the most is Neo-expressionism, because it's the idea of what it is, whatever you're doing, a bull, a horse, the chicken, or whatever. But it's so abstract, it's so strong, it's coming out of you from emotion and strength and confidence. And then on to the next one. Like I always said, Basquiat, he actually knew how to draw. Like he could actually draw like anatomy. He was like an expert draw. Like you know, somebody would say you're a serious artist, but he didn't want to do it that way because it was boring. But also, that wasn't the art where it's bringing out the raw emotion of whatever you're doing. A lot of times people are scared to do it, not because you're not talented enough to do it. The real secret is why people don't want to do it is because it's you're vulnerable. What's inside of you, you know? Well, you're vulnerable. Nobody got time for that polar bear hairs. And that app is so addicting. It's so addicting. It's so addicting that I have to say to myself that I'm not allowed to play with it at work. In my studio, I'm not allowed to play with the app at work. I have to wait until all my work is over with, and then I go home, and then it's the end of the day, and I get to sit down, and then I get to play with the app because it's like a toy to me. And then I save all these different references of things that I want. The most fun for me, to be honest with you, is that I have so many references of things that I sold over the years, right? And I have them saved into my computer of different references. So what I do, I go to the reverse engineer app, and then I go to the reverse engineer how I have it coded for you. I plug it in there, and then it does a reverse engineer of things that I either done before, things of different references, and it gives me a different way, and I just enjoy it. So like this what we're painting right now is based off of the reverse engineer app. And it was something completely different off of something that it was something complete, like this pulled up something completely different than what the actual reference was. But I was like, I love it because this is my favorite type of art. And for years, I was trying to always, you know, as an artist, you're always trying to find the shortcut. It's okay to say that you're trying to find the shortcuts. Like, we're trying to find the shortcuts. No, everything should be complicated for you. So that goes back into the topic of what we're saying, is that simple systems beat complicated talent. Talent without a system, it becomes inconsistent. You become inconsistent with it. The reason that you become inconsistent is because you always think that you got to reinvent the wheel. So imagine, right? For example, we're using this software that's coded inside of the elite community, right? We're using this software for our reverse engineer or our reference. But imagine if we didn't have it. There's artists out there who feel like in order for them to be real artists, it's a sin for them to use this software. It's a sin. They can't do it. No, I'm breaking the laws. I'm going to go to jail. I can't do it. It's blasphemy. They feel like they can't do it. And so instead, what they do is they spend weeks and months trying to be original and come up with a reference and trying to get somewhere that they can't get to. Or they're so I'm gonna tell you, like, remember we talked about the polar bear hairs, right? They're not, I don't want to say they're not brave enough, but remember, we talk about vulnerability. You're not vulnerable painting polar bear hairs. You're not vulnerable of getting things wrong. You're a straight A student who's scared to get an F. This looks like an F to somebody, but I'm being vulnerable and I'm letting it go. And that's the thing that people love to see. That's the thing that sells now. The thing that sells is being authentic, because too many people see people who are inauthentic, right? Everybody wants to be pretty. Everybody wants to have the perfect thing. And people just, and the thing is, in 2026, most people have an understanding that in life, no matter how much money you make or who you are, everything is not pretty. Everything is not perfect. Everything is not always pretty in life. Nobody has it all together. Nobody's life is all together. So why should your art be all together? Nobody wants to see it. People want to see things that's like, it reminds me of me and what I'm going through internally and my emotions and my, they want to feel like that. So that we need to give them art like that, to be like, we're human as well too. This is my human form and artwork. I'm human. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm feeling. I'm either feeling happy, I'm feeling love, I'm feeling rage. I'm feeling mad at sales. Oh, my art sales aren't working out. If I feel that way, then I'm going to paint it. What kind of emotion can you evoke or can you tell if I'm painting polar bear hairs? Simple systems. It's very simple. Look how quick we're doing this right now. I'm talking to you while we're doing this, and this is coming out beautifully. If I had this even any larger, or even now, this is $1,000 painting. A simple checklist can outperform talented person who just keeps starting over. Like, they'll start over and over and over. But only thing we have to have is a simple checklist of things to do. I always talk about it, having a checklist. I have a checklist of things that I need to accomplish. Even me, that I've done my work so many times, or I've done my setups, I have to have a checklist to be like, what am I doing? Those things will always be somebody with with talent. What does it say? There's an old quote out there. It's something like a dummy with a checklist or a plan always beats a talented genius without one. Something like that, right? I'm gonna dry this off just so that way I can go back in here with some pastel and maybe some other stuff and make some marks on here, and we'll be done with it that quick. But most people, they fail because they keep changing the plan before the plan has time to even work. Like, you have to give things time. You have to let it work instead of always changing things. So many times we're so guilty of that. How many times have you started something and you feel like you were getting good at it, but then somehow your brain played tricks on you to give up early. You give up early, and then a month later, a year later, you look back on it and you're like, I wish I would have just kept going because I didn't realize how far ahead I was at the time. Now people who was starting before me or after me during that time, they're way ahead of me. And I wish I would have kept going. And that's just having a simple plan. You could keep things in your life so simple and succeed by just doing the same things over and over and not changing the plan. A lot of times people want to be so complicated and they want to change stuff all the time. I tell people all the time, sometimes I'm telling you, the number one thing that people say at times when their store or their numbers are messed up is that I always say to them, well, you're always changing stuff. How's the system supposed to how's the system supposed to realize who you are, what you're doing, or what's going on with you when you're always changing stuff? It's just like any other algorithm. You have to let it understand who you are or what your plan is or what you're doing. You're always changing stuff. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple, believe in yourself, and stop changing stuff all the time. I'm guilty of this so much. Like, there's been so many times in my life where I quit something early because I want the results now, or I'm not, or I think I'm not seeing the results. The results are right in front of me, right? I'm making progress. But for some reason, like, I think I'm not making fast enough results or what I want. And instead I change something. And I'm always changing it. And then I don't get anywhere because I'm always changing. I remember years ago when I was always changing stuff, people would be like, you change your mind faster than you change your chonies, which is like your underwear in Spanish. You change your mind faster than you change your chonies. Always changing your mind will always have you starting over instead of keeping things simple. And the thing that people don't really talk about when it comes to success, but I stress it all the time, is that you have to be comfortable with doing the boring. That's the thing. That's the thing that successful people don't talk about, is that the things that make you money, the things that move the needle in your business, the things that you need to do, they're really just simple checklists. And a lot of the day is going to be doing the mundane boring because it's the constant over and over and over, right? You ask a basketball player, Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or something, how did they become so good in basketball or whatever? I'm quite sure they would say like they had to do the boring, which was 1,000 free throw shots when nobody was there. You ask a tennis player how they become so good, they had to do 1,000 tennis ball shots when no one was there, right? It's the same concept. A lot of the things that we do in business, I always have to say, I had to be comfortable with the boring. But it adds up as long as I'm doing the same thing and I have a checklist of the boring of what I'm doing. And it's very simple. Just keep very, very simple. What am I using to use the highlights? I'm just using black acrylic with a 3/4 brush. That's it. Very simple. The black that I use, I get it from Blix. So one of the secrets, and I haven't talked about this in a while, but maybe I should just like, I need to stress this a lot of my videos, is we have to find ways to cut down on our dopamines, because us Americans, we're addicted to dopamines. Either you know it or you don't. And the thing is, companies spend billions of dollars to get you hooked on dopamines by having you either attached to your cell phone, having you attached to a Starbucks coffee, having you addicted to a caffeine, having you addicted to something. Like we're addicted to dopamines. And the thing about the dopamine receptors is that once your dopamines is too hijacked, either from caffeine, alcohol, food, even processed food, junk food, um, what happens is that you don't want to do the successful things because it's too boring for you, and your brain is too stimulated. So your brain is too stimulated to want to do the boring. So the best way, I'm telling you, I'm giving you cheat codes for real, for real. Like when my business was falling and my numbers was low a little bit, I always internalize and I always blame myself for everything because everything begins and ends with me. I had the power to change things. So what I would do is I said, okay, I understand what it is I have to take responsibility that my dopamines is out of line. Meaning that why can't I do 5 paintings in 90 minutes? That's 17 minutes of painting. You mean to tell me I can't do 17 minutes of painting? We just did this painting right now in like 10 minutes or less than. Why am I doing that? Oh, because my ego. Like, what's really going on? It's me. It's the dopamine. My dopamine levels are too high, and I'm finding that I can't do the boring. So that's what it is. I don't want to do the boring. So, and trust me, you may not even know this either. You may think that you can't do certain canvases in a certain amount of time or whatever, but really what it is that your dopamine levels is out of line, and that you get bored of doing the boring when really you need to be focusing on the simples. It's just the simple things. A lot of times people can't. They won't admit it either. But I'm here to tell you what it is. I know what it is. You can't do the mundane. You can't do the boring. You have to be comfortable doing the boring and be okay with it. But you can't because your dopamine levels. Having like systems in place, they remove emotions from the daily work. Like I'm not attached to the daily work. It's just what I have to pull up and do. And that way I'm on to the next one. I'm like, man, I could feel it where my dopamine levels is either too high. I need to fix the stimulation. So or a horrible analogy, but it's true, is say to yourself, right? Like if you were a convict in prison, if you were a convict in prison, you would love to just come up and paint. If you told a convict who was serving prison time, right? Okay, you have to do 5 canvases in 2 hours, they would easily do it for you because their dopamine levels are so low because they're not on their cell phones all day. They're not on a TV. They're not drinking coffee. Their dopamine levels are extremely low. Let me know if this makes sense to you. Simple is best. You just have to keep things simple. In moderation, it's going to help you with your business. It's going to help you when it's time to go to work. You're just able to tune in and do your work. A lot of times when I wasn't able to do my work, and it was kind of like, what's wrong? What's going on with me? How come I can't do my work? My dopamine levels was too high. I didn't want to do I didn't want to admit it. It's boring. It should be more fun. If I want to make it fun, the only dopamine levels that this is a brush. This is a brush. This is what's in my hand. This is a brush. This is a 3/4 brush. All the supply list is inside the elite community. So there's no guessing games. You have everything there of like how you can do this for yourself, how you can. This isn't an art class because you're already an artist, but all the tools is already in there of the things that I've used and the things that I've learned over the years. I don't use expensive tools or anything like that. My stuff is very cheap. You don't need all this expensive stuff. The expensive stuff is only for amateurs where they try to make money off of you. All right, we're done. On to the next. Look at this. Isn't this cool? Look at that right there. It looks like chalk. I mean, it might just be pastel that I'm using. I mean, I did do a little bit of pastel or a little bit of crown, which is called Karen Gauche. Karen Gauche you can get from the Blick store. All right, look at that right there. Isn't that beautiful? Come on, tell me this isn't fun and beautiful. We just knocked this out very quickly. People will love this. People will buy this. You can put it into your buy it now store for $200 and it will get sold. All right, on to the next. But yeah, you don't need a perfect setup either. You just need a process that you can repeat over and over. You can just keep repeating the simple systems. Always focus on simple systems. I'm always thinking of ways about how to make things more simple. One of my mentors told me years ago, it's like, stop context switching. Stop trying to make things so complicated for yourself and context switching, like trying to do multiple things at once or even multiple references at once, like that makes things more difficult. All right, now we're going to do a horse in the same kind of fashion of what we just did. If you haven't already, please leave a like on the video. Let me know that you appreciate the paintings that we're doing, the knowledge that we're dropping, that we're just even showing up here today for you to paint for you, right? Hopefully that you're painting as well. Let me know in the comments. All right, let's go on to the next. Let's have some fun. Turn my timer on right there. Turn my timer on right there like I'm in the studio alone. So that way I could just always play the game. Always play the game with myself with the timer of how fast that I could get on with it. I think on this one, I'm going to add some drips on here. So how I'd like to do my drips, I know everyone's different, but I just go straight into, I just spray on there. Dang, I'm low on water. Oh, there we go. I'll just go straight into the water. Dang, I wish I had some water nearby so I could put in this thing. Oh well. Come on. There we go. There we go. I'll just do something like that. So you see how I'm doing that right there? Real messy, real drippy. I don't care. The drips are there. And then I could go back over it where the splatter was at. Now let's go in with some brown. Then some light cream. So always try to think that to yourself, like, God didn't intend for your whole life to be difficult. Everything's not supposed to always just be difficult. And then if you think that it is supposed to be, then you're just thinking about life wrong. We've been conditioned to think about life wrong, that everything has to be so difficult, and it doesn't. Like, yeah, God loves those who work, but work doesn't always have to be where it's so challenging and has to be so complicated. It has to be so hard all the time. A lot of times things just come easy. It should come easy for you. Start putting that into the mind that things come easy to you. Wealth comes easy to you. Success comes easy to you. That you are enough in whatever you do. Like, if I just do that right there, it's going to be enough. And then if it's not enough, it's going to be enough for somebody, somewhere. I don't think too much about it. Shouldn't be so difficult. Now, on the next topic, we're going to be talking about that there is no retirement, really. There is no retirement. I mean, you could retire from maybe one chapter of your life, or you could retire from maybe corporate America, but then you go on to something else. Maybe you start writing books, maybe you start painting. Retirement is turning into the reinvention. A lot of people who are not looking to fully retire, they want freedom with their purpose. Morning, Chavez. They want freedom with their purpose. How many feel like that? I always talk about freedom. I always talk about everybody else's freedom is different. Whatever your forms of success looks like is different. Let's see here. You should change your thumbnails. It's very ordinary. And let me guess. You sell thumbnail service, right? You sell thumbnail service and you want to help me. You want to help provide me a thumbnail service and you want to charge me. How much money do you want to charge me to help me with my ordinary thumbnails, I'm guessing. Come on, put it in the chat there. Let me hear it. Someone just put in the chat right now. You should change your thumbnails. It's very ordinary. Let me guess. You sell thumbnails. How much for your thumbnails? But yeah, there is no retirement. I mean, working from home, it gives older adults a way to stay active without going broke on a job. You don't have to be a greeter at Walmart or all these stereotypical things. Gives you purpose. That's so true, Boyles. God loves creatives. Creatives figure out how to work smart. You have to work smart. You have to work smart. I love being put in a situation where I always have to work smart. That's why I love helping people out because there's so many different chess pieces that I had to put together in my mind to how to figure things out, to how to figure out situations in business. And now I can share all the things that I've learned and all the ways of how I had to work smart. I love figuring things out to be like, what kind of chess piece do I put together to get out of this situation? I love that feeling. Even to this day, I'm always thinking of ways to work smart and thinking things that I could improve on in business or things that I could, even to this day, I'm always thinking like that. That's why in this topic we're talking about where it's like there will be no more retirement. Retirement is just like from your job or whatever the corporate thing is, but you won't ever retire. You're meant to work. Idle hands is the devil's playground or the devil's playthings. You know what I'm saying? You're meant to work. You're meant to do something. That's why they have a statistic on there. That's where it's like men who end up retiring and they stop working, they end up either with health issues or they die. Unfortunately, it's as sad as it is, because work used to give them purpose when they would wake up in the morning. Work would give them purpose. Work gives you purpose. Online selling, coaching, teaching, and creative businesses are becoming realistic options. I always say that we are all creatives, we are all geniuses, we are all naturally superheroes. And we forgot that we're superheroes because society kind of kicked us that way ever since we were younger. And then if you tell somebody you're a superhero, it's only okay for you to be a child and say that. But if you're an adult and they put you in a loony house, how dare you believe in yourself? You're not a superhero. Go back to your job. You're a worker. That's who you are. Be like, no, I'm a superhero. Like, you're not just an artist. You're not just a mother. You have natural abilities. You have natural things that you're really good at, that you're great at, that people would be interested in. They want to hear your point of view. Even if you worked at a company for so many years, they want to hear your point of view from the corporate America, or maybe your point of view from gardening or being a mother. There's different perspectives that's inside of you, that's only inside of you. Everybody has a different point of view. And sometimes people think that they're not special, but they are. And there's 5 billion people on the internet. So there's a tribe of people out there who's there's a tribe of people out there who want to hear from you, who want to know your perspectives, and you can monetize that. There was an older business guy who had a very successful business, one of the top businesses. And then he sold his company, he retired, he went away, he did the stuff that they said on TV to do, right? Go to the beach and all of that stuff. He goes to the beach, he gets bored because he's always been working, gives him purpose, he loves working. And then he tries a few years later to go back into the industry, which was real estate. And then he couldn't get his bearings back, and he was like the top guy, but he couldn't get that back to who he was because he lost the momentum. And it's the same thing in life, where if you have the momentum, don't lose that, because once you lose it, it could be even hard to get it back. And then that's when you die. It's important we keep working and reinventing ourselves. It's never too late to be who you were supposed to be. I don't care how old you are. It's never too late to be who you were supposed to be. Whoever you think you were supposed to be, whatever your fantasy is, whatever your goal was, or whatever that somebody else could say that wildest thing, you could live that whenever you want, and no one can say that you can't, because it's your life. But also, you're going to have a tribe of people out there who will relate to that. Right Standa says, I tuned in for your title. Should I create just an art storefront, or just sell my art with my thrift stuff? No, don't combine the store at all. It's always better to have a different store. So you could do that. I'm giving you free game right now. Don't do that. Just have one store, which is the art store. Art store, original art is our category. And then that's it. Don't confuse your store, because then if you confuse your store, you're going to confuse the buyer, and then you're not going to get sales that way. Free game. All right, it's been 13 minutes on this painting, so you know what our rule is. On to the next, right? Like, I spent too long on this one. Now it's on to the next. And that was a lot longer than what it should have been. Now I'll just do some quick highlights. But look, we just did this together. Nothing deep. Boom. Look at that beautiful horsey. All right, I'm done on this one. Let me put my signature. On to the next one. If I can do this, then you can do this. We're working off with the projector. We use the AI app so that way it creates and generates the references for us. We press one button and it populates our painting for us. We don't have to try to recreate the wheel. We don't have to try to think. We're already creators. You're already a child inside of you. All right, you can do it. Whatever the projector's just showing you, you create your own colors. You create your own style based off of off of the proportions. That's it. I always say this isn't an art class because you're already a superhero. All right, you can do this. We just did this in 13 minutes. On to the next. Hey, Treasure Maze. If y'all haven't already, please leave a like on the video. Let me know that you appreciate the paintings. Leave me a super chat. It really helps out. I appreciate it. Yes, you can create different accounts on eBay. Doesn't just have to be one account. You could create multiples. So some people do have already shops that they built before. Now, one thing I could tell you is this. Okay, look, if you have a successful eBay shop, right, and you already had the reviews on there, you already have where you had some type of traction on there, you could turn that into an art page. Just make sure that you delete everything else that was on there and make sure it's just an art page now where it's just original art. And then that's it. Don't put other stuff in there that's not original art. Just make sure it's an art page now, and you can do that too, but you still have to work at it. Don't try to depend off of your last tractions and impressions from other items. You just have to work at it. That's it. You could do it. Okay. All right. Let's get on to the next painting. We're still talking about retirement. Just one of those things. Like many people, they have decades of life experience that they can turn into a value, is what I was talking about. Like there's just so much information, knowledge, and gems that's inside of you. Why, why put it to waste thinking that you don't have information and that you don't have wisdom? I always say that it doesn't matter how smart someone thinks they are, you know, older people, they have wisdom that they could talk about and save people time with stories. Yeah, I'm always giving free game, man. No worries. No worries. So that way you can get started on your journey yourself. Start making that money. Usually the biggest obstacle is often confidence is not just the ability to monetize like what your skill set is. It's usually you get to a certain age where it's the confidence that's got knocked out of you. That's usually unfortunate. I see that happen a lot. Kind of the mindset of like, well, who am I to think I'm special? I'm too old. Nobody's going to listen to me. You'd be surprised. On the school community, there's a bunch of people over there making six figures just off of stories from their work, doing calligraphy, candle waxing. There's even a school community with someone making six figures a month just off of war stories. An older gentleman, really successful page just off of war stories because people appreciate that wisdom. Morning, discerning light. So when I talk about confidence, it's usually like technology. It looks scary until someone breaks it down step by step. That's why I love my community and what I built is because I put technology in there, but I put it at a standpoint where anybody can use it, and I train you how to use it, so that way you'll be more comfortable using different forms of technology later on in your life or whatever you want to apply it to. Like this isn't just a art business community. I also have in there tools of how you can use AI, but it's ways how you can just go in there. You don't have to implement coding. You don't have to think about any kind of back end stuff. I make sure that everybody plays around with these things or these certain tools, and I break down in the system within eBay. You just by you playing around with that and you going off of the apps that we use where we customize the pictures, for example, when we take a picture or how we upload it or how we make it look good within the apps that we use when we do the mock-ups and different things like that. I get you slowly acclimated to you become tech savvy because everything is spelled out. Everything is built there for you. And that's a blessing. That way you're confident to be like, you know what? I am tech savvy because within the community, I run my own business and I was taught how to do these tools. I was taught how to do these tools, and also the community helps me how to do this. It doesn't become as scary where you don't have the confidence and you're like, how should I do this? There's so many other courses and gurus out there where they have these courses or they just print this PDF crap stuff out and they don't actually show you how to apply it. They just go, hey, you got to do this. Go eight, just do that, do this. And you're like, how do I do it? How do I start? But it's like with us, we have where it's like an actual, it's like we have our own university, as weird as that sounds. We have like our own actual business university because you're in class with other students. And these are things that it doesn't have to just apply to the community. These are things that you could apply to your actual normal day life. So that way technology is not scary at all. Retirement should not mean disappearing from the face of the earth and going to the beach. The beach only gets the beach gets boring after a while. The beach is only interesting at first. Then after a while, you're like, all right, what else am I supposed to do? What else is there? Like, is that it? There has to be something else. I'm bored now at the beach. How many times you supposed to go to the sand? After a while, you're like, I need something to do. Retirement shouldn't be disappearing. It just means that building something on your own terms, having your own freedom and building things on your own terms. That's the real success of retirement is where you're retired, but you're still building things on your own time. For me personally, that's one of the things that I always looked at for success. I didn't look at it too much of like the money count because money is infinite, right? I always looked at success of my time. Can I control my time? Can I do the things that I want to do? Can I not have a boss who's telling me what to do, a director, or feeling like I'm obligated to do something? Do I still control my time? That's the things that I always felt like is the most success for me in my life. That's the things that I always aim for. Can I be debt free? Can I be geologically free where I could go any place that I want to, when I want to, without explaining to myself? And can I control my time? Those are the success factors for me, not $10 million, $2 million, or any of that stuff. If y'all have any business questions, leave me a super chat and I'll answer it for you. But look at this. We're just doing some impressions or expressions. No rhyme or reason. I just trust in the process. I'm going off of the projector. It is what it is. Someone is going to love this. Now let's go in with the black and I'll be able to tighten this up. Treasure says, I'm gonna hustle till my body can't take it anymore. That's how I feel. Like I always will have some type of hustle. I have to. I'm always going to have something that I want to work on and improve on. That's the thing that's exciting. Either helping people, either that's the things that get you out of bed. That's the thing that gives you life. That's the thing that gives you longevity of life. You have to have a purpose. If not, then what are you doing it for? To go to the beach every day? And then what? It gets boring. A few years ago, I gave myself a soft retirement because I had enough money. And I was doing a soft retirement and there was things of it I did. I was like, all right, I'm bored. Let me get back to work. Let's see here. Gene Soley, thank you for the super chat. $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate you. How do you decide between a canvas or a paper? Um, I don't really. It's really up in the air. Like really, if I just want to get things done with, like sometimes in the morning, like if I really want to be loose with it, I could do paper because paper is more forgiving. And if I want to do like mostly where I want to make the money, if it's auction pieces or something like that, or a buy it now, or if it's a piece that I know that I want to make the money off of, some dough, then I'll do a canvas. It just depends. But if they're filler pieces too, like if I just want to fill up my buy it now store, I'll do paper pieces too. So I'll focus on canvases for the auction, and then I'll do paper pieces a lot for filler pieces for the buy it now store. So that way the algorithm knows that I'm also feeding it. People think that I paint a lot for canvases or I make canvases at auctions, but I do a lot more for buy it now when I do paper pieces. I draw more and I do more paper pieces than anything because I'm feeding the store. I'm feeding the algorithm. I can't sell well when it comes to auctions if I'm not focusing on the buy it now. I need to focus on the buy it nows and do paper pieces and fill it up with the algorithm that way in order for me to bring in the traffic that I want in order for people to compete and bid on my auctions. So there's your answer. Yeah, so that's how I work it. But there's no real math about like, how and what. Sometimes I'll just do paper as well while I'll start the day off just so I can loosen up. It's like an exercise. So I can just get real loose with it. And then I'll go to the canvas. But one thing I don't advise people to do kind of thing is start off your day kind of like a canvas work, unless especially if you're not experienced for it, because what happens is you're going to get trapped into a mindset of where you're going to want to do Mona Lisas starting off your day, and you're going to spend so much time and you're going to spend so much energy, but by the time the day's over with, you did only like 4 or 5 canvases or something like that, and the whole day's gone by, and you didn't work your shift how you're supposed to with the time, and then you didn't get nothing done. Psychologically, you're going to feel better about yourself if you do paper pieces first, do a bunch of them, knock them out where you're being loose with it. And then when you do your canvas, you're going to know, well, at least I already know I did 10 pieces of paper or 10 pieces of art, 5 pieces of art, whatever. It doesn't feel good when you have a whole day that's gone by and then you didn't create that many pieces of art for some reason. And then you're going to say to yourself, I'm just not fast. I'm just not good. I don't know how Corbellic does it. I'm not fast like him. You're going to start saying stuff like that. And it's not true. It's just that you didn't work the paper. Sometimes you just need to do the paper. That's why professional artists always call paper pieces studies. You need to do studies. I always talk about just work your pieces like they're studies. And then the cool part about eBay is you can still list your studies. People still buy your studies. Just consider them studies. So you can work it fast and loose, and you can't have your ego involved. I like doing paper too because your ego's not involved. It's like I'm just being a child and having fun. No one's going to see it. No one's going to see it. I always say that if you're going to do paper pieces or whatever too, just say to yourself, no one's going to see it. But then list it anyways. Yeah, yes and no. I have a full breakdown of how you could do this if you're not a part of the elite community. Click the link, join us in the free or in the click the link and join us in the elite community so you can get the full breakdown of how you should do your schedule. I have a schedule creator as well in there for free. All right, let me dry this off. And then I'm gonna just go in here real quick with a pastel and we'll be done with it. You're very welcome. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the question. I look forward to working with you. Click the link and then, just send me a message in there. Or also you could be part of like I said, the university in the community where we're all there together and you can have a whole breakdown. I got a whole lesson in there of how you can do your scheduling on there. It's no guessing game whatsoever. I appreciate you being here. See, that was real love. You see that, everybody? That's a real example of how things work in life. She had a question, she showed support, and then she put a super chat in there for the question. That's love right there. And it comes back to you. It always comes back. She's going to get big blessings in life like that. That's how you work it in life. I have a course as well talking about the money secrets. Money secrets. The universe knows if you're a cheapskate. You can lie to me all you want or to anybody else. The universe knows if you're holding on to your pennies. If you're holding on to your pennies, then the universe is only going to give you those pennies. That's how it works. That's why people always say, "Oh, the rich get more rich, and and the poor stay poor." The rich get rich because they understand these concepts of the universe. They always give. That's why they call it philanthropy. Philanthropy is for rich people who give the energy back. Broke people don't do aren't philanthropists. That's a gem right there. Take it or leave it. All right, now we're going to get to the fun part right here. This is the part that I think is fun. Is where I get to do the scribbles. Now tomorrow we're gonna have a lot of fun because tomorrow's video I'm just gonna do paper pieces. And for me, I'm gonna be honest, I enjoy doing paper pieces more than canvases. I love doing canvases because of course they bring in the money and they look great. I like canvases. I like painting all things. But for me, for some reason, I really enjoy doing paper. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the psychology of the paper. I don't know if it's because it dries a little bit faster. I don't know if it's because I'm more loose and I'm just doing studies and I don't care. But I love doing paper. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing larger pieces of paper, which is going to be like a 17 by 14 pieces of paper. And I'm going to be going through a bunch of it that way just to show you how loose and fast it is. I like to work it that way as an exercise. I'm going to show you how to exercise yourself into doing it that way too. So then that way, when you're done doing at least 10 for the day for that hour or whatever it is, then you're going to be more confident to yourself when you go to Canvas and then you're going to be like, all right, it's work time. It's nothing. I just got done doing 10 real quick. At least I got that body of work under me and I did it that quick. I could do the same thing on Canvas without having my ego involved and thinking about it. Okay. Okay. If you haven't already, please leave a like on the video. Let YouTube know that you appreciate the value that you're getting from this. Let me know that you appreciate the value. Let me know in the comments you appreciate the value. I know you guys are working and you're painting and all that, but I would also like to hear from you too. You know, sometimes these streams are only as good as off the energy of off what I'm feeling off of the community, right? Sometimes I feel like crap if I'm not feeling energy off of you and I'm doing a 3 hour thing talking to myself. Like at that point, I was like, all right, I might as well just go back to where I'm just shooting a video by myself and I'm just shooting the video of the painting. I could just do it that way because maybe it'll be like more of a concise, focused video where I'm just doing the video of me painting and I'm just talking to the camera and then I'm done. And then I'm done for that 20 minutes or whatever it is for me to take that painting. All right, so this one right here, I'm just using the Karen Dosh. The Karen Dosh, I love this thing right here. I like it because it's not as messy as a pastel. I can use more of it and it's easier for me to just make so many lines and different scribbles into it. Right? Like you see how that is. And then it's not messy either where I don't have to do I don't have to spray over like a finisher or anything like that. Right here, I'm gonna put at the top West, like the Wild West, something like that. West. Like a pocket right here. Some impressionisms, right? Like this, like this. Isn't this awesome? I love this. Tell me this isn't awesome. This is so cool. It's like our cowboy sitting there with his pea shooter. With his pea shooter. Butterfly with the super chat. With the $20 super chat. Says, will your app tools and community help with our other non-art eBay store? If so, please give examples of how. Well, my apps are generated for only for the art because this is a business art channel. Um, with other non-art eBay store. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, Butterfly. I do have a community that is a separate one. It's called the Business Blueprint Builder. And it does have an app in there that's even more advanced than the app that what I was talking about that helps people inside the eBay community. And the app will actually build up any of your business, not even just eBay, where it'll help you with your titles or your descriptions or anything like that. It will help you with any of your business. So for example, my Business Blueprint Builder, you could go in there and you could say that you're an expert in a file clerk, maybe cleaning windows, a cupcake maker or a pizza maker or whatever that your skill set is. And it will tell you in detail the blueprint of how I was able to code my business over the years and how you could go about the same trajectory on how to write things out, do a script for yourself. And that way you can monetize it for your own communities, for your own tribe. So I do have a business blueprint builder that I would suggest for you. And that way it maps everything out for you. It is the best thing ever because this is something that I've been wanting for years and I spent a lot of time coding it to offer the success that I've had over the years to make over $1 million. And that way you can do it too, whatever you're into, because there's 5 billion people on the internet. So whatever you're into, maybe it's not just eBay art, right? For example, like you just said, maybe it could be eBay, whatever your thing is. You could go over to the Business Blueprint Builder. It'll ask you a couple questions about yourself. And then from there, it has a better understanding of how to go about it and build yourself, your business, the same way how I was able to build mine. So that would be something cool that you could probably look into. But as far as the community, where the elite community that I have, I only have the coding tailored specifically to what we do on eBay when it comes to art, the title, the SEO, the keywords for the art trend, for the art SEO top selling that Kissimmee, for the prompts on how to get the references, for the prompts on how to you know do a reverse engineer. So if there's something that you want to look into, just send me a message in the community and I could work with you as well too. And we could build out something specific for you of whatever you're looking for. All right. So hope that answers the question. All right. And there we go right there. I'm done with this one. Let me know if that let me know if that answered your question or not. Put my signature on here and we're done with this one. But I greatly appreciate the super chat. Boom. There we go right there. Look at that. There's our cowboy. There's our cowboy expressionism, neo-expressionism, very abstract. You can see I'm not focused on the details of what his face is or what the body or whatever, because you can see that it's the interpretation of what it is. People understand what it is, and they'll pay more for this than they will on the fine hair, polar bear, cowboy, detail, all that stuff. It's like I could just buy one of those things. There's no expression into it. There's nothing new. This is something new. It's something very exotic, and they can get their layers on. All right, look at that. That's beautiful right there. All right, on to the next one. All right, so now we're going to go into a quick commercial break where we're going to go to the whiteboard video, and we're going to be breaking down, breaking down the whole struggling artist story, and how we're going to be breaking down the whole misconception of that idea that you need to be struggling versus just making things simple into your life. All right, so we're going to be taking a quick commercial break right now while I do a setup. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you are already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So, like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything there for you, so that way you could get started. You get started with a 14-day sales activity challenge. That way you could get your first sales, and then you could get your first transactions. You're going to have your first sales by the time that you're done with the 14-day sales activity. But the best part is that you're not alone. You're going to be having a supportive community that's going to be there along with you. Other courses, they just have where you're going through it alone and you're just trying to figure it out. But here, you're always going to have a full supportive community of people who already succeeded, who already gone through the steps, and will help you along the way. And you can ask any questions. And we also have a weekly Q&A call where you can ask me any questions. All right. So you have nothing to lose. Look, everything in the world has gone up in pricing. So give yourself a chance right now where you can make some additional income for yourself, for your family, and see what you want to do. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you were already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So, like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything there for you, so that way you could get started. You get started with a 14-day sales activity challenge. That way you could get your first sales, and then you could get your first transactions. You're going to have your first sales by the time that you're done with the 14-day sales activity. But the best part is that you're not alone. You're going to be having a supportive community that's going to be there along with you. Other courses, they just have where you're going through it alone and you're just trying to figure it out. But here, you're always going to have a full supportive community of people who already succeeded, who already gone through the steps, and will help you along the way. And you can ask any questions. And we also have a weekly Q&A call where you can ask me any questions. All right. So you have nothing to lose. Look, everything in the world has gone up in pricing. So give yourself a chance right now where you can make some additional income for yourself, for your family, and see what you want to do. Hold on quick. All right. We are back. We are back. We are back. Looking for my marker. Oh, here it is. On this one, we're going to be talking about the misconception of being a struggling artist, the broke artist story, right? The broke artist story versus cash flow thinking. That's the things that we need to be focused on. We need to be focused on the thinking of cash flow, not glamorizing this broke story, this broke story, or glamorizing always the struggling artist and that have to be a starving artist. I don't believe in that. You know, I don't believe in that. Hopefully this is dry enough. Let me make sure this is dry enough before I start writing on here. How many times have we heard that our whole lives? And I mean, I'm tired of the story in general for everything. You know, I really take this to heart, where it's not even just about the story of you tell someone when you're a kid you want to be an artist. Oh, that's a hard industry. You're going to be a starving artist. I'm tired of hearing that for everything in life. Where how come everything in life it has to be so difficult all the time? It has to be that we're going to be starving. We're going to be broke. We need to normalize that things come easy to us. We need to normalize that we're successful. That we're phenomenal people. We need to normalize where, if we're going through moments in our life that is difficult, that it shouldn't be normal. It shouldn't be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. So we're going to go the broke artist versus cash flow. Okay. Let's do this. Let's put a line down here. Just how we always do. Now, the broke artist versus cash flow. One, like I said, they want to romanticize the struggle. They want to romanticize the struggle. Like, I'm just so tired of that, where it's like, oh, let me hear your story. Well, yeah, in order for me to sell art, I had to sleep on the floor for 5 years. And I was crawling home every single day, 20 miles on bare glass. And then I was able to sell that one art piece. Like, nobody, like, why should we have to normalize these stories? How come we just can't say that it didn't take no time for us at all? I was able to pull up, I was able to sell on eBay, I was able to make certain amount of paintings, I had a system in place, I didn't go to art school, and I was able to make the money for myself. I was able to make a business for myself. You know why? Because people are either jealous of that story or they don't want to hear it, and it's not too exciting. It's not romantic, right? So people don't want to hear it, and they want to hear where something is more than it is. A lot of times, anytime I hear these starving artists, or even if it's like a story from an actor or somebody like that, and they're like, I was sleeping in a car, I was going through this. I'm always thinking to myself, maybe these stories were created by their PR team so they could romanticize the struggle. But we need to get out of the mindset where it's romantic to be struggling. We need to get out of the mindset where it took us so long. One of the things that I always think back on with myself, and it's just a human thing, it's regret. And I always say, man, if I could just go back in time, I wish that I could go back in time and have the knowledge of what I have now and give to my younger self or so, because then I would be able to do it. But then the thing that I think I romanticize about going back in time to tell my younger self something is being like, hey, you know what? If I had the knowledge now, and if I could just do the same thing of what I'm doing now and I was younger, society would really be mad at me. Society would be mad at me because I was young enough where I'm making the money and I'm going through the steps of just having a system in place instead of going through the struggle and making art sales and making it happen on eBay. I could have gone back 20 some years ago and just did art on eBay. Think about it. I mean, I would have made so much money. And these are the things that I always try to teach now when I'm talking about these lessons, as I'm telling you to help you wherever you're at in your life. But also I'm talking to the younger version of myself, because there's nothing romantic about the struggle. All right. Like I hate that idea, and we have to get away from it. versus the cash flow mindset. With the cash flow mindset, I'm thinking daily output. It's just all about systems and output. So I'm gonna put daily output. Oh, I would give anything if I could just go back in time 20 some years ago and then just do daily output. Stop romanticizing about the struggle. Stop believing what everybody else's frequency is, that everything has to be so difficult. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to make money. You're not, because I wasn't able to do it. I always tell people, I always even tell you, don't listen to other people and don't vibe off of their frequency, because whatever their frequency is, it has nothing to do with you. Whatever might work for you, it might not have worked for me. Whatever didn't work for me, it might work for you. So don't vibe too much off of people's frequency, because you'll believe it. It's contagious. Daily output. If I would have just focused on the daily output, I didn't go to art school, but just knock them out. Been selling so much art. Been in my 20s, right? And then been like, man, people are like, how are you making this much money when you're not going through this romanticized struggle where you have to go to art school? You have to pay $100,000, $50,000. You have to beg the galleries for an opportunity. You have to be broke. How dare you not be broke? People hate when you didn't go through the struggle first and then you're not broke before you have your victory. People hate that compared to you show up, and we need to make it more normal that you don't have to have the struggle. You could just show up. As long as you have the daily output, you have the systems in place. Now, the broke artists as well, they're waiting for inspiration. Waiting. I'm just going to put waiting here. Waiting for inspiration. Waiting for inspiration to strike. And one of the things that I always keep in my mind is that Picasso says that there is no inspiration, there is no motivation. It's the actions first. But our brain is in reverse, and it's hard to tell people that. It's hard to tell the uninitiated that. The most successful people are not people who are the most smartest. They're not the most talented. They are the people who actually just have the gumption to start first, to do the actions. That's the brave. That's the bravery. That's the courage. It's starting first. You're not waiting for inspiration. You're not waiting for motivation. You're not sitting around thinking that, well, I'm so clever and I'm so talented, I'm just going to wait for the actions to hit me. It's not going to happen that way. You need to do the action first, and then the inspiration, the motivation finds you. I always say the analogy is like going to the gym, all right? Or it's like walking. If you know that you're supposed to do 10,000 steps, 10,000 steps sounds like a lot of steps, right? It's like, oh, I don't want to do 10,000 steps. But the fastest way to get there is tell someone, hey, just do 2 steps. Do 2 steps. If you want to go to the gym, just do 2 push-ups. All right, just do 2 push-ups. As long as you're being consistent every single day and you're showing up doing 2 push-ups, I guarantee that when you show up, that you're going to do more than 2 push-ups. I guarantee that you show up for the 10,000 steps. You're going to do more than 10. You're going to do more than 2 steps. You're probably going to walk around the block. You know why? Because the action of you showing up, at least, like, just show up. Okay, fine. Don't paint 5 canvases. Don't paint 10 canvases. Only thing I'm asking you to do is show up. And I guarantee once you show up, the action, the inspiration will find you. Just keep showing up. So don't wait for inspiration. And I always tell people, you don't have to love it. You just have to get it done. If you want to get volume done, don't think to yourself that it has to be a Mona Lisa. Don't think to yourself that every painting is going to be great. I never think that every single one of my paintings are going to be great. I don't expect it to. But what I do expect is that I'm showing up every 15 minutes to at least paint one. The cool thing is sometimes when I'm painting it with you, I'm in my mind still where I'm like, it's whatever. Maybe it's not a great painting, and then I'll read on the live stream, or maybe that video went viral and the video did more numbers, and it was a simple painting that I didn't even like when I did the painting, but then it went viral, or it sold for the most. Because we need to get outside of our head. At least I showed up for that 15 minutes and did the artwork. The artwork is already there. It's just waiting for you to show up. Stop waiting for inspiration. Compared to the cash flow state of thinking is let the simple work make the money. Simple art. Simple art makes the money. And you're going to know that the more that you have the data points out there, the more that you're creating artwork, you're going to see that some of the artwork that you thought was the ugliest, some of the artwork that you thought that nobody was going to like, you're even going to trip out when you see that it's the artwork that it only took you 5 minutes, 10 minutes because it was so simple. And then you're going to be like, what? You mean to tell me there was actually people buying that who wanted that compared to the artwork that took me 5 hours to do? Because you were conditioned by society to think that you need to romanticize your struggle. You need to romanticize you doing polar bear hairs for 100 hours. I did 100 hours today, y'all, with the polar bear hairs, and I did that. He's romanticizing him doing 100,000 hours by having a magnifying glass on his eye and doing the hairs like that. That's romanticizing the struggle. And people like that are conditioning themselves where they're thinking that time equates quality, quantity, or money. And you need to get out of that mindset because it doesn't. All right. So simple art sells. It's okay to make a painting that took you only 4-5 minutes and you sell it. Your problem is you believe in what other people are saying and your ego to be like, well, it only took you 4 or 5 minutes. That's not art. How dare you sell that painting for $1,000? It only took you 4 or 5 minutes. And you're guilty because you're believing what other people are saying who are broke and they want you in that same frequency. Don't vibe off of other people's frequency. It's okay to sell simple art that took you a short amount of time and to make a profit for it, to make money for it. You're a phenomenal person. We need to get into our mindset that things come easy to us, okay? Number 3. Making one piece last forever. All right, so we're just going to say make one painting, make one canvas, make one piece. It lasts forever. Like you're over here focused on one painting, one canvas. That takes forever because you're romanticizing the struggle. Think about how long it takes for that artist who's doing the polar bear hairs, who's doing the tiger hairs. They're spending so much time doing that painting. And for me, I'm thinking time equals money. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to romanticize about one painting like that. It would kill me. Like, I can't sit still and just do that. There's more things that I have to do. There's more ideas that's inside of my head. I have so many different ideas in my head and so many different things that I want to paint, so many different colors, so many different things that I want to move on to. Why am I stuck on this one painting? I'm stuck on this one painting because I'm procrastinating and I don't want to admit that I don't want to really do the work of doing other stuff. You know, Leonardo da Vinci, he has so many pieces that were unfinished. He had so many pieces unfinished because in his mind, it was always calculating. It was always like he had other different references of other things that he wanted to paint. Regardless of what people want to say about Andy Warhol, you know, they used to say the same thing about Andy Warhol. He wasn't a real artist because he used the projector. He found out ways to do cheats and shortcuts, but I respected his business mindset. And you can say whatever you want, but he had so many different ideas that he always wanted to produce different stuff. That's the mindset too, as well. And it's okay not to be in that mindset. That's the broke artist mindset, and being in this struggle is making one canvas that you're only going to get free likes off of for your family and friends. In comparison to when on eBay and making the cash flow, we're talking about sell first and improve along the way. Like eBay pays us to get better. We get paid on the job, or we get paid to get better. Paid to get better. We get paid to get better. eBay is the only opportunity that I know where we actually get paid to get better. Like, they pay us on the job. When I look back on art pieces that I did when I started off doing full-time eBay, and I look back, I cringe at the artwork. I cringe at the artwork because it does not look that great to me. But it's always good to record your journey. That's one of the things that I always talk about with you, is record your journey so you can actually see how far that you come. You can see how far that you come in your artwork. You can see how far you came in your studio. You can see how far that you came. Just record your journey, because you're going to remember emotionally how you felt in your life when you were doing certain paintings as well too. So eBay's the only place that I know where they paid me along the way to improve my business. No one else is going to do that for you. In any other business that you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars. I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars just to get to a point where you're actually making a sale or where you're out of debt. Here, they're already putting the money up front for you. Only thing that you have to do is meet them halfway. eBay's like, hey, you want a job? Yes, I want a job so bad. I want a part-time job. Okay, I got a job opportunity for you. Okay, what is it? You have to paint. Okay, when do I start? You start today. Okay, when's your orientation? Your orientation is right now. Can you be consistent? That's it. And then they pay you to get better. Some people just take it for granted. Like we're in such a mindset in the Western hemisphere mindset where we take certain things for granted that other people in the world don't get the opportunity to do. We're making a profit regardless, and we get to do this. We get to get paid to get better. We actually get to put lottery tickets out there into the free world market so people could buy it into your buy it now store or buy it from your auction. Are you kidding me? Like, we got the best job. This is such a great opportunity. eBay saved my life. Number 4 is protecting your feelings more than sales. Aw. When you want to protect your feelings, protect feelings. Your feelings. And I get it. It's understandable. I mean, maybe not, but if you want to protect your feelings. Broke artists, they want to protect their feelings more than the sales, meaning that they care more about what other people have to say about their business process. They care more about, oh, aren't you doing the polar bear hairs things again? How dare you do the artwork that's so quick and that took you such a short period of time and it looked like you were doing abstract expressionism cowboy. You know what's funny? Check this out. Like, you know the paintings that we just got done doing right together this morning, those 3 paintings? You think that the polar bear hair artist, you think deep down inside he don't want to do paintings like that? He wished that he could wake up in the morning and just do fun paintings like that because everybody knows how good it feels to be a kid and just be creative and just be abstract and raw with it and play with paint. You think that he don't want to wake up in the morning and do paintings like that? No. I mean, yes. But he can't do it. The reason that he can't do it is because now he has to protect his feelings because people already have an image of him. They already have a perception of who he is. So he has to protect his feelings. And now he's locked in to having to do the polar bear hair paintings for life now, when he might just want to actually wake up and just do a raw painting of something. Let me grab a random painting over here. Maybe he wants to do something like this. Maybe he just wants to have fun with some colors. And he wants to have like these Indians on a horse, right? And he wants to have different impressionisms of it. But he can't do it because now he has to protect his feelings over the sales. And compared to us, when we could just show up, be a kid, and we could do whatever we want, right? Look at this. We could do whatever we want, and we're getting the sales. Compared to him, where he's now locked into protecting his feelings because everybody his whole life told him that he was a A+ student and he's scared to be a failure now. And compared to us, people are like, oh, how dare you get the sales? You're getting your sales, then you're not an artist if you're getting the sales. Which one is it? Which one do you care about? Do you care about me being an artist, or do you care about me being broke? Or do you care about, like, which one is it? Like, I have people who were upset that I was making the money. So we're not supposed to be making the money? Which one is it? Because people made it be synonymous with an artist being broke. Compared to on eBay, we use volume to find out what sells. We use data, or we use volume, okay? We use volume to find out what sells. And the only way how we could put volume out there is not be focused on the polar bear hairs, not be focused on the small things, the minute, right? And if I do that, I did a lot of work today. The painting's not even done. The painting's going to be done in 3 weeks because here I'm doing this time, right? I'm doing this. But guess what? While I'm doing this, guess what I got to do to make money, to pay the bills? I got to go to my 9-to-5 job. So while I go to my 9-to-5 job, I only have so much time in between for me to do this, And I'm not making no money. So then by the time that I'm actually finished with the painting, guess what? It's 2 to 3 weeks later. It's almost impossible for normal people to make paintings like that and have no job, have no form of income. Oh, I just go to the studio and I spend 100 hours on one painting. It's almost impossible. Like, who are your art buyers in this market? Oh, you just happen to have a oil tycoon person on speed dial? No, you don't. So I always think that these people are either sponsored or they're trust fund. They're trust fund kids who have studios and are able to do stuff like that. But normal people can't. So here, why it's taking you so much time to make a painting that you care your egos about because you're losing time. You're also losing time because you got a 9 to 5 job that you got to use to pay the bills because you're a normal person. And in comparison to you have a 9 to 5 job and you can start building yourself up. That's how I did. I had a 9 to 5 job and I was able to do part-time with eBay, see that the sales was there, be more consistent, use the volume to see what was actually working, the data, and then I was able to do the transition into full-time. Now, 5 is, let's see, 5 could be confusing art pride with business. Just having too much pride and ego. I'm gonna just put pride and ego here. Pride and ego. Pride and ego. I had 2 number 5s there. That's fine. Pride and ego. I mean, do we really need to even say more about that? I think we all get the gist of that. We talk about that all the time in the community. We talk about that all the time on this channel. We talk about how to get away from this all the time, is your pride and your ego. Your pride and your ego will kill you when it comes to the art. I mean, that rolls into all of this stuff, is like in your feelings, your pride and your ego. Oh, I can't do this. I can't complete this fast enough. Oh, I'm not good enough in that. It's because your pride and your ego is getting in the way instead of letting things go. Look, we all know how many paintings that I sold, right? But yet at the same time, you see the type of paintings that I create with you live, just to let it go and be like, my ego's not involved in it. I don't have to create polar bear hair, Mona Lisa, beautiful things all the time. I'm getting myself a chance to be authentic and make things that's different, where I can have the volume and I can have different types of artwork. That's the beautiful thing about it. You have to get your ego out of it. Once you get your pride and ego out of it, that's how you're going to be able to make more money. If you don't know this, it's kind of a hard thing to talk about. I talk about it all the time. I really feel like I shouldn't have to go too deep into that one. All right. Now, the other one is treating listings like a business, treating it like a business asset. We treat listings like assets, listing assets. That's how I run my business. I always look at my inventory to say, okay, I got, if I have certain art and I have it in my buy it now store, that's my passive income because I created it and I forgot about it because I created the volume. I'm not thinking about it. But also, let's see here. What do we have? I went over there to read some of the comments. I saw people cracking up. Sorry about that. But here I treat my business like assets because they are the assets. I have whatever I have in my inventory and they're from my buy it now. I created them in volume in such a time shift where I've already forgotten about it. I've already forgotten that I created that artwork. So by the time that it's time by the time that when it sells, I feel like it's passive income. A lot of this stuff, it sells when I'm asleep. Or in my inventory where I have my shelves and I have artwork that's from my buy it now store, or I have 2 different studios where I have my artwork at. Those are my assets to be like, okay, I have over $500,000 in artwork that I have. If I ever need to liquidate it, I can always liquidate it for $1 million or so, because I can take it to certain galleries that I have connections to, and I can always just dump it off. I could dump it off at an art fair if I wanted to. I could dump them off with different connections and different people who I was able to make relationships with over the years. Listings are my assets. I keep my listings there. I always tell buyers, one of the things when I have a one-on-one meeting with people and I look into your store and I'm like, why are you having some of these artworks that's either in your inactives or in your drafts? Don't do that because you're not giving it a chance to work the impressions for your auctions. I'm giving free game right now. Don't do that because those are your assets. Let your assets work for you. Resellers and other businesses or other categories, they call it a dead pile. Don't have a dead pile, all right? Don't do it. All right. Number 6 is let cash flow fund better moves, investments. Or on this one, I'm just going to put no investments because it's the opposite. But there's no investments. There's no investments when you're the broke artist. When you're the broke artist, you only have enough money to pay the bills. And maybe you can't even pay the bills when you're the broke artist at all because you're paying your bills with free likes. Free likes don't pay the bills. You need the 9 to 5. And I'm sorry that I think 9 to 5 was created in order for you to not have enough money to invest in. It's only enough money for you to kind of pay your bills, but it never gives you enough money for anything else. That's why eBay's the best, because eBay gives you an opportunity where you can see actual additional income coming in. If you wanted any additional income in this world nowadays, I hear it's hard for people to get another job, but even if you did get another job, it would be a part-time job with really crappy hours where you wouldn't be able to spend time at home with your family still, or even be able to create art. And you wouldn't be making as much money even with a part-time. So I believe that 9 to 5 was kind of created so you can't have any investments, because if you have investments, you could diversify yourself. So that way you can have different businesses and you can have different stock portfolios, or you can even have crypto, or you can have things like that where it's ready for the transition that's going to happen. This is the great wealth transition that's happening. And I'm so thankful for eBay because eBay gives me the opportunity where for the first time, I was able to have investments. I've had companies that I work for doing financial whatever, and I still never made enough money to invest in myself. I still never made enough money to invest in different stocks, different portfolios. Here, let me get something to drink real quick. And I'm telling you, it's the weirdest thing. But maybe not the weirdest thing. The only time that I was able to make investments or have an additional money to invest in myself and give myself a frequency was when I dealt with eBay. So in this one, we're just going to put investments as well. Investments. People don't understand, and I didn't even understand this either. I did not understand this until I worked with eBay. Is that I didn't understand where the moment that I could start having investments, even if they were small investments with just additional income coming in, that's when more money comes in. Like I always say to you, people don't understand when they always go, oh, the rich get rich, the rich get more rich, and the broke stays broke. It's because it's a whole mindset of abundance. It's a whole frequency. Once you start having passive income, once you start having multiple forms of income, once you start having investments, more money comes to you. More money flows to you that way, because that is how the secret knowledge of wealth works. That is how the secret knowledge of wealth works. If you're not part of the community, or if you're part of the community, I'm telling you, get the course in there where it's in the classroom tab, where I have 17 chapters that I wrote out about the secret knowledge of wealth and how like secret societies pass down this information to their kids for 1,000 years or so. But these are the things right here, is that how to get in the frequency is start having investments, start having multiple forms of income, and start having passive income as well. Once you do that, you don't even have to work that hard. That's why this is about not working that hard, where we need to get out of the mindset of being broke. Once you're in that mindset of being broke, you're always going to be broke, because the universe is going to know that you're broke, and they're going to keep you in that frequency of being broke. But once you start getting into the frequency of things come easy to you, and you start having things of abundance, more money is going to flow to you. I don't know why it works that way. Okay, look, we all know there's gravity. We all know that there's energy. We all know that there's electricity, right? We can't see it, but it's there. All right. It's the same thing here. This is how I'm always able to generate money. I'm always able to generate opportunities, because I always put myself in a mindset where things come easily, but I had the investments. Once I had that, even if it's a small investment, it costs you nothing to start investing $50 a week. It costs you nothing to start investing $100 a week. It costs you nothing. You don't have to, when you sign up to these things, it costs you nothing to sign up and to do it. But at least you have different forms of money that's working for you. All right. Now, the last one that we're going to have right here is action builds confidence, Or actually, on this one, we're going to say that staying small to feel safe. You want to feel safe. This is the broke artist. Broke artists want to feel safe. And you want to stay small. This is such an interesting topic for me because there's so many people who always want to make other people feel comfortable around them. And you know how many times we know everyone who does this. Look, I was guilty of doing this too. You're probably guilty of doing this now. You know that you're a superhero. You know that you're made for more. You know that you're a phenomenal person. But how many times have you made yourself feel small so you can make other people in your circle feel comfortable around you? You don't want to be the family member that actually started to that got rich, right? You're scared of being ostracized to be like, oh, you think you're better than us. Oh, you think that things is this. You think that, and then you got to explain yourself. That's what comes along with it of being great. And a lot of times we make ourselves smaller to make other people in our lives comfortable. I always use this example to be like, you know what? Dress up. Put a suit on, dress up, wear the nicest clothes. Even if you can't afford it, just do that and see how society treats you when you go outside. Go to a nice hotel lobby and go to somewhere nice. See how you feel about the environment. See how you feel about yourself. You're going to want to improve. You're not going to always want to play it safe and play yourself down. You only do it so you don't draw attention to yourself. We need to stop dubbing ourselves down and playing it safe, staying small. Stop being small. You need to go bigger. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that things happen to you because you're a great person. You need to believe that it comes naturally for you and it comes easy for you. Action builds confidence. I always believe in that. It's so true. Action builds confidence. This is the key. This is why I left this one last. I'm gonna put a star next to it. This one is key. This one is key. This one is key. You have to know this, that action builds confidence. That's why we talk about idle hands is the devil's workshop. Why? Because you're not doing anything. God loves those who work. You have to work. You're going to feel better about yourself the harder that you work. You're going to feel better about yourself that you showed up. When you tell your family you're going to the park, you're going to the gym, and you're going to do workout, 1,000 push-ups, whatever it is, no one knows that you're doing it besides you and God. But then after months go by, you're going to have the proof of either you've been doing the work or not, or you've been eating junk food at nighttime when nobody's looking and you're binging the refrigerator or whatever. But action builds confidence. I learned this years ago when I first started getting into art. I forget who the artist was, but it made sense to me. She said that she had a problem with anxiety. And she says in order for her to beat anxiety, no matter how much money that she makes, she'll never retire. And no matter what's going on in her life, she has to work. She has to create art. She has to keep doing the work in order for her to not have the anxiety, in order for her to build the confidence. I could only have confidence in what I'm saying. I could only have confidence if I talk to you from me putting in the work before, for me putting in the work where I sold 18,000 paintings, for me putting in the work where I'm coaching and I'm helping the community, for me putting in the work of the things that I'm saying. I wouldn't be confident if I know that I'm not putting in the work. That's why certain people, they're not successful. And that's why people come off where they're inauthentic and they sound like gurus because they need a script to talk about the things of whatever, because they didn't put the work in. Action builds confidence. You show up to work, you do the work, regardless if it's great. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be perfect. The only thing that's perfect is that you showed up. 90% of success is you showing up. I didn't understand that quote. I used to hear it all the time. I just thought it meant like people being tardy or people not showing up to the opportunity. like they didn't just show up at all. No, what it means is that the work is already there. The talent is already there. It's already inside of you. You just have to do up. You just have to show up and be like, I'm just going to do 15 minutes of whatever this thing is, of whatever the painting. I don't care. I don't know what it is. And God's going to be like, it's already there for you. The beauty is already there. I didn't go to art school. So being an artist, I forget where I heard this from, but being an artist is like the closest language or the closest talk to having with God, because you can see things that you don't know how it's there. Michelangelo, what did he say? He said that the artwork was already there when he created David. He looked at this marble slab that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted that marble slab that he created David with. And he looked at it and he got the work because the work was already there. God already created it. It's the same way. It's the weirdest thing. I'm telling you, business is like that as well too. I've only became better at business by doing artwork and knowing that the special spark was already there. Only thing I had to do was get outside of my head and show up. Action builds confidence. So that's what I got right there about the broke mind, the broke artist mindset versus the cash flow, where we need to start making things seem normal. It's okay to seem normal. It's okay to not be small. It's okay to have your head up high, to believe in yourself. Leave the people behind who don't want to believe in you and who want to keep your frequency low. All right. So that's what I got for you on this whiteboard. We're going to go back. We're going to have a quick commercial break. I'm going to do a setup where we go back to the painting, and then I'm going to have a artist spotlight that I want to give some recognition to, and then we're going to close it off. All right. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you are already an artist, you are already a creator, and you are already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything there for you, so that way you could get started. You get started with a 14-day sales activity challenge. That way you could get your first sales, and then you could get your first transactions. You're going to have your first sales by the time that you're done with the 14-day sales activity. But the best part is that you're not alone. You're going to be having a supportive community that's going to be there along with you. Other courses, they just have where you're going through it alone and you're just trying to figure it out. But here, you're always going to have a full supportive community of people who already succeeded, who already gone through the steps, and will help you along the way. And you can ask any questions. And we also have a weekly Q&A call where you can ask me any questions. All right. So you have nothing to lose. Look, everything in the world has gone up in pricing. So give yourself a chance right now where you can make some additional income for yourself, for your family, and see what you want to do. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you are already an artist, you are already a creator, and you are already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything. All right, all right. We are back right now. So we're going to go into an artist spotlight moment right here, where we're going to be talking to someone who's been winning, who's been making things happen for themselves, and just give a testimony. All right, this is coming from the elite community. So these are going to be the things as well. If you're already a part of the elite community, then also please leave some testimonies as well too, or just even some small wins that's going on into your world, because it does help other people out. It gives motivation, it gives inspiration, so that way they can know that, look, if they can do it, then you can do it. Or if you can do it, then they can do it. All right. So it's important that we read these things off, and it gives life, it gives hope, it gives different things where other people see, hey, other things are going on, how many people are selling, what pieces they're selling, but also what's cool, like I said, inside the community university, right, is that we all could reach out to each other. We could all be friends. We could all say, hey, how's things going for you this week? We could send messages in comparison to other coaches or courses with PDFs or whatever, where it's like you just get the information and you're by yourself. That seems very cold, bleak, and lonely, right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it would work that way. But I just wanted to give a special shout out. So let me do the reaction right now, just so we can read this together and you can see the wins that we got going on. All right. All right. So for this reaction right here, or for this artist spotlight moment that we have inside the elite community, we have Lee on here is talking about one-on-one, winning again, winning again. She says she had another one-on-one meeting with Corbellic on Friday, and you heard him say that he will take a look into your store and help you make improvements to the store or help you adjust your flow or your schedule. This is so important. We did a little bit of all of that. And as before, the difference was immediate and measurable. That same night, I sold a buy it now painting and then 3 more paintings over the weekend. Plus, I had an offer. All said and done, 42 paintings sold over the weekend. My production immediately increased based on a couple of the tiny tweaks based on his suggestion, which together had massive impact. If you haven't done so already, a one-on-one yet, then what are you waiting for? And that's just a great thing right there. I love that because I really love doing the one-on-ones with people, because it's different. We have everything built out inside the community. We have everything. I mean, I poured out all the information that I have in all the courses, but there's times where your account, I understand either the market changes, either different flows with your art, either your routine. I look at everything under the hood. It doesn't take me long at all. And I'm able to make some very, very quick, drastic changes inside of your store. So that way you can have more traffic coming in for free, either the impressions, or a lot of times I see that your campaigns are set up incorrectly. Or a lot of times I also see that your promos or the discounts are incorrect. And I set up a routine for you. So that way you could also have some free time back into your life. Because I'm gonna tell you, one of the things that robbed me for years is that I always was guilty on grinding, making the money, right? But then after a while, that becomes like boring, not boring, but you're just, I was always so concentrated on my business and I felt like I was handcuffed to the easel. And I could understand with some people like that as well too, some members where you might feel like that. Look, there's nothing that you're going through that I haven't been through, from the ups and downs, from the struggles to the roller coasters to the market. Trust me, I've been through it all. And that's why I'm able to talk about it and help you out in such a short amount of time. But there was times where I would miss family events, or there was times where I would miss certain things because I had to keep my business afloat and I felt like I was handcuffed to the easel. So one of the biggest things that I'm able to help with when it comes to a one-on-one is being able to help you buy back your time, so that way you're advanced in your schedule. It could be a week, 2 weeks. And that way you're not always fighting where you're like, I have to paint today so I can list for today. I have to paint for today so I can list for tomorrow. A lot of times you're not caught up on your schedule. And that's where I really take the pride in on a one-on-one meetings, is to help you catch up on your schedule, because it psychologically does have an effect on your creative process. It does psychologically have an effect on your creative choices and how you're being free with yourself when you show up to work. I always say, when I show up to work, I'm not painting for today, because if I did, it would give me too much pressure and I wouldn't like it. It would give me anxiety. And I'm painting for the future. I'm painting for days in advance, maybe even a week in advance. And it helps me with my choices today to be more free as an artist. And these are things that I help you with when I look into your store and I give you a plan. So if this is something that you want to do as well, just reach out to me, so that way we can schedule a one-on-one. I can look into your store. I can help bring more traffic, the impressions in there. I appreciate you, Lee, for writing that. And you've been doing a phenomenal job. 42 paintings in a weekend, plus she was able to sell 4 to 5 buy it now paintings. Come on, you can't beat that. All right, so that was the moment right there. Now let's get back into the painting. Let's get back into some paintings. If I had a soundboard right now, this is the time where I would like put the soundboard and go like the claps and all that. All right, let's do this. Are you guys still there? I don't see you in the comments. If you haven't already, or if you just came in over the past 30 minutes or so since the whiteboard and since now, please leave a like on the video. If you have any kind of questions or business questions, please leave me a super chat so I can read it out. It really helps go a long way with the support. Also with the likes, it lets YouTube know that we are saving lives around here. Okay. All right, let's do this next painting. Let's do this. We're going to do a fun kitty cat. This is going to be a Neo-expressionism cat. I love this so much. And look, we just pulled this up off of the reference creator right here. So this cat image, I pulled this up off of the reference creator. Super fun, super easy. All right, let's go in here. Now, a lot of times people are like, how do you get your paint? I like to put a little bit of water on my canvas first because it's dry. So I like it to let it drink a little bit of water first, just a little bit of water. This one, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of a cream background, light brown. I can't wait to paint this painting. It's going to be so much fun. Let's put a timer on here. Now, when we were talking about on the whiteboard video, talking about investing in yourself, that's what this topic is going to be about, is about really kind of like investing back into yourself. It's going to be like the new rich skill is learning fast. Are you adaptable? Are you able to learn fast? And then if you're not able to learn fast, then it goes back into yesterday's topic where you need to utilize AI then, which I help inside the community, to learn fast, to figure out answers. You have to learn fast. You have to be able to evolve. If not, we perish. All right, let's see who do we have here in the comments. Mike Hudson said, okay, 8 paintings done, need a break. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, take your break, man. Take your break. You deserve it. Oh, this is going to be such a cool painting. People love cats. People love their dogs. But people also seen a million polar bear hair type of cat paintings and stuff like that. They always want to see something different. Give them a different cat painting. And that's why I'm excited about this one, because we're about to give them a different cat painting. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're going to get there. We're just going to show up and do it. It's about showing up to do it. I don't know. I don't care. We're going to do it though. I don't know. I don't care. We're going to do it though. So the new rich skill is learning fast. The world is changing too fast to rely only on what worked 5 years ago. We can't rely on like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, that's like a whole different world. That's like around when people think about 2020 and stuff. Like, could you imagine that? Like, that's a whole different world. Some people are actually so old in their mindset where they think that the year 2019 and all that is coming back. Like that world is coming back. That world is not coming back. That's long gone. 2019 is gone. Whatever you thought of the world back then, that's gone. That is not coming back. We're in a new world. And you have the ones who are making the money, you have to evolve. That's what got me into coaching in the first place. I said I have to evolve. If I have to evolve, it can't just always be me being handcuffed to the easel. I have to understand the people who are making the money into the new world, they're not smarter than me. They're just understanding systems. They're working systems and they're evolving with the time. So then I'm like, 3-4 years ago, I'm like, what's this AI thing that people keep talking about? Let me look into this. How can I evolve? How can it help me out? How can it help me get smarter? Let me play around with this. People who learn new tools quickly will pass people with more experience. Like I don't want to be one of those people where my son is telling me how to use the phone, right? Like I never want to be that. I always want to be somewhat advanced or along with what's going on. Maybe not even advanced, but I'm going to try my hardest to try to understand. Because if not, I don't want to be one of those people. Well, how do I work one of those thingy me jiggies? You know what I'm talking about. I'm always going to be young in mind. Because I'm always thinking of ways of how the world is improving or how technology is going. If I want to stay alive. Look how loose I am with this paint, right? This is awesome. Tell me this isn't fun. The polar bear hair artist, he wished that he could do this type of art. He wished that he could wake up in the morning and do this, but people had said that he's already too serious now. He's already made a name for himself to be the polar bear hair artist, and it's just too serious now. This is what's fun. I could get through this and people will buy it. This is what's fun. I feel like a child. I feel this is what excites me. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to do what you want me to do. Like, this is awesome to me. This is how I'm able to get done with paintings in such a short amount of time. You have to say to yourself, and it's okay to say to yourself, like, it's okay to say to yourself, I don't care. I think we also gotten conditioned into certain things in our business where we're not allowed to, we're supposed to act like we care all the time. We have such professionalism and we care about the buyer. We care about the seller. We care about eBay. We care about the market. We're so conditioned to be like, we care too much. We have to care. I know I care. I got a heart and I care about it. I'm telling you, you're going to go further in business where at times you say, you know what? Everybody else has been taken from me. I don't care. No, I don't care. I'm going to create this fast painting. If anybody's got a problem with it, I don't care. That's how I'm going to get through my art. You think the resellers or somebody who's buying from you because you're taking forever to do your painting or whatever, and they're buying your stuff so quickly or whatever, you think they care about you and your business or you and if you survive or not? They don't. So when you're creating art at times or when you're in business, you need to be ruthless out here. You need to say, I don't care. You're about to get this quick art piece and you're going to love it because everything comes to me easily. Or you could care so much. You could care so much. And then nothing comes to you easily either. You're still broke. You're broke and you care so much. How crazy is that? That would drive me crazy. Care about making pretty art all the time and then you're broke? What's the point in that? Or how about I just make quick art of what I want and get paid for it? But you're selling slop. Is my chat dead? Let me know if y'all are still here. What's going on with y'all? Let me dry this off and then I'm gonna go in here with some pastel. Nice cat. Back from vacation. I hope you had a great vacation, Sharon. One man's slop is another man's sirloin. That's so true. It's all sirloin around here. There's just too many people out here in the market where I just feel like it's all sirloin. Somebody's gonna be able to love it. How long should you keep your paintings in auction? Well, we do 10-day durations. If it doesn't survive that, then put it into your buy it now. Don't put it back into your auction. That's the thing too. Like stop putting so many items back into your auction. Like the eBay's not stupid and the buyer's not stupid. They feel like they just saw that artwork and they're already sent you signals saying that they didn't like it. That doesn't mean that they don't like that style forever. It just meant in that moment they didn't like it. And usually it could go back a month later, 2 months later, and it might like it. But for right now, it didn't. Can't keep forcing it to. eBay's gonna know that you're just over here recycling artwork that didn't nobody wanted. The AI is able to pick it up that it's the same art piece. Right? All right, at the top here, I'm gonna put something like 9 lives, right? Something like that. That's cute. 9 lives. With a dollar sign on the S, because that's usually what I do. I can't help it. It's how your setup is then. Your setup is wrong. You have it on there as an auto relist. If you need help with that, set up a meeting with me and I can look into your account. We can fix it together. Look at that. Isn't that cool? But back to our topic. So you have to evolve because being confused is normal at first. Being confused at first is normal, but staying confused, that's an option. That's like something, you that's like an old mindset. You don't have to stay confused. That's an option to stay confused. Everybody's confused at first of anything, but staying confused is an option. Look at that cute cat. Let's put some eyelashes on it, because why not? And then I'm gonna throw off I'm gonna put a different color just for contrast in the corner, like right here, because that's gonna make it pop for contrast. It works like this, real quick and easy. Look how easy that was for me. It throws the eye. Boom. And then I'll do another one of those, probably like down here. That way it's connected. Look how cool that looks. That blue always makes it do that thing. Look at that. I'm actually, you know what? I might as well blue out the other areas because I like how it looks. And I'm not thinking anything more about it. But this is going to be a popular painting online. Nine lives. I dropped my paintbrush. Oh. See, people feel like that too, where they're like, when it's a cat painting or something like that, you just never know. Where it's like, love the cat, I miss mines. I'm sorry to hear about that. Well, I made this painting for you. People love cats. I love cats too. I like cats better than dogs. I'm a cat person. I know some people don't like them, but and they are mischievous, but boy, they're also majestic creatures for some reason. And there's just so much fun that you could do with these. Like, that's why I like painting like so. Let me do this. Maybe write something at the bottom like home. All right, and there we got right there. That's it for that painting. Sharon said, that just happened to me. I sold a piece because it reminded the collector of her cat. Exactly. Like it's always works like that with animal pieces or just pieces in general. Like you just never know the significance of what it means to people. And that's why I always try to be different. If I see people who are doing things that look too much the same, I'm like, you gotta change it up. You gotta give people a chance to, you never know what it is of the thing that you're painting that's going to remind them of a flower, of a dog, of anything. You have to change it up. Get outside of your head. Your ego's getting in the way. All right, I'm done with this one. This is really a cool painting though. I like it. This is what we did together. Look at that. Look at that. That's just a different cat right there, just having a fun. People are going to love something like this because it's authentic. It's coming from you. It's something that they can't just buy from a Bed Bath and Beyond. This is someone who has the courage to make mistakes in making a different type of cat. So they're going to pay money for this. I've been doing this for a long time, trust me. All right, so there we have it right there for the show. Right there, I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun painting what we painted today. I really love those paintings. If you want to play around with that app as well, you can click the link that's tagged or pinned in the chat so you could do it yourself. You could create it. You don't have to think about the titles. You don't have to think about the art, the references. We just have the tools that you could populate for yourself. It's really cool stuff. And yeah, that's what we have right there. Hope you also enjoyed where we had the artist breakdown on the whiteboard. Hope you were able to gain some information off of that. So that way you can get outside of your ego, get outside of your head and just have fun. Be a child, be a creative person. You are already a creative person. So that's what we got right there. And yeah, so That's what I got. All right, I'm gonna see you on the next video. I'm out of here. I'm like kind of tired, and I got to do a I have a couple meetings right now that I got to get to. But it was always fun. These are always fun to get together, do some art. I know that you're busy as well too, doing some art because today is Wednesday. Is it Wednesday already? Yeah, it is Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, so Wednesdays are important on our auction days to knock those paintings out. And I'm gonna see you in the next video.